Hey everyone, and welcome to the Eye Opener Society. First off, I want to tell everybody thank you all so much for tuning in, listening to our shows. I do want you guys to get on our YouTube channel, though. I've noticed not all of you have been there. All right. So if you go to YouTube at Eye Opener Society, definitely check out. We only got 2 episodes of Behind the Eyes, and we did Behind the Eyes just specifically for you guys, the audience, to get a little insight on Hannah and I behind the scenes, just acting the way we normally do. For good, for better or for worse, check out the shows. There's the pilot episode, and then we have our statute of limitations. Check them out when you get a chance. It's really just to change the theme of things, make things a little bit more fun and interesting. Anyway, tonight, you still have me, Gary, here. You have
Me, Hannah, sorry.
there you go. Hannah's here on the show too. Uh, we got this month. We still got 2 more shows, I think, to record.
Mhm,
Once we do, I've been really racking my brain what to do because there's so much to talk about.
mhm.
And I know there's so much on your mind, Hannah, so much on my mind. And this week I got some changes going on. So there's probably going to be even more to talk about. So we want to get these to you. So keep tuning in. Things are coming. We've been getting a lot of buzz about the pod party,
Oh, yeah.
where we're going to have all the hosts from all of our favorite podcasts all on one episode, and our Zoom screen is going to look like the Brady Bunch,
Yeah.
just and I cannot
The
wait.
pod bunch.
Yeah, the Pod Bunch. We are pretty excited about that. Stay tuned for that. I know people are waiting on our paranormal episode. Like I said, we got a lot going on this year, and this year is what's the focus of this show.
Mhm.
There's something going on in the air, isn't there? There's a whole new beginning to a whole new year. People are ending last year either on a good note or a bad note or whatever it might be. Hopefully, this episode is going to get us a little bit more in tune with things. So, we have someone on our show today that we're so excited for, and we absolutely adore her. Elaine came on one of our shows back when we were Third Eye Meditation. It was our
Mhm.
Facebook Live. She was gracious enough to do a live show with us, and it was great. It was fantastic. And ever since we rebranded and all, I know most of our newer audience have not had the opportunity to experience, even though I promote her all over. And if you go to our website, eyeopenersociety.onpodium.co, if you go up in the top, menu, there's a link that goes directly to her. So you got to click on it and it'll take you right to her website and you can see all of her services there. But Elaine, I found Elaine on Facebook just by chance one day. One of her posts came across and she was writing about the tarot. And it was so in depth and
Mhm.
so well written. And I love that because not a lot of people read anymore. I literally sat there like reading this and I said, wow, this is fantastic. And it just turned me on to her. So I started following her.
Mhm.
Then it turns out your mom was following her for a long
Yeah, she
time.
was.
And she was like, "Oh, you follow Elaine too?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Who is she?" And she's like, "I've been following her for so long. She's great." So I started talking to her about that, about writing, because when I started doing all this stuff, I was doing blog stuff myself. And, I made the comment to Elaine how people don't read anymore. And we started talking a little bit. And then we, got her on the show and she did the
Mhm.
show. But even before that, I said, I got to have a sampling of how Elaine works,
Yeah.
and who better than to do it on as your mother, who's
Yeah.
really, got
Facts.
so much going on. So, I contacted her. I said, "Listen, just do a reading. And I just want to see how your readings go because, as we're going to learn, everybody does a reading
Differently.
differently.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own way of doing it, their own ways of interpretation, and I like that. I like how some people really take it to heart, and some people just do it because they just learned it. Any way is good, but I found Elaine to be completely fascinating, and we
Me
had that
too.
reading. As a matter of fact, probably 6 months before we moved in here,
Mhm.
maybe a little bit less. And I know a lot of the problems going on with your mom at the time was all what we were going on in the old place
Yeah.
and the transition coming in here. Elaine was spot on with the timing.
Yeah.
I was really, really impressed with that 100%. So that's Elaine. Why hold her back anymore?
She's the best.
She is. Let's get her on the show. Elaine, how are you?
Hello, guys. It's so good to be with you again. Thank you so much for having me.
We're so excited to have you back.
Yeah, for sure. And again, I want to say thank you so much for coming on our show like this. Again, we're not the type of people who get famous people in here because we don't want them. We want the
Elaine is
real
famous
people.
in my eyes,
But
so
that's the thing. She's famous in our eyes. It's regular people like this who are actually doing something good and they're very good at it and
Mhm.
they put a lot of passion and heart in it. And Elaine's one of those people, and these are the people that I like to have on the show.
Mhm.
Why give famous people more time, more airtime than they
Yeah.
already want? This is your time, Elaine. So before we go any further, Elaine, please take this moment for yourself. The show is all yours. Tell us about you, what you do, your business, how to contact you. Go ahead and give us a commercial.
Well,
Action.
thank you so much, Gary and Hannah. That compliment is of the highest order, and it means the world to me to hear you. And if my clients have that to say about me, it means the world to me. That is what I'm in this for. So thank you so much, first of all, and thank you so much for hosting me again on your podcast. I love you guys. I love Eye Opener Society. So a little bit about me. I have a Facebook page called Arcane Oracle. I'm Elaine. I am the Arcane Oracle. I have a website, elainesarcanetarot.com. If you want to check that out, please go ahead and do so. The links are in the body text. And I am a tarot reader and astrologer. And I have been studying and practicing divination with tarot and astrology for more than 20 years now. All right. So let's just say it's been a while. I don't quite want to date myself, but it's been more than 20 years now. Earliest memory is I was like 4 years old, going through my mom's stuff in her closet like I wasn't supposed to be doing, and I found her tarot cards, the Rider Waite, classic style deck. And I remember just being fixated. I was about 4, it was before kindergarten, and I was just obsessed. And my mom didn't want me playing with the tarot cards, understandable, but I would not be dissuaded. Every chance I could get, I was sneaking to try to find my mom's tarot cards and spread them all out on the floor and try to figure out what all this meant, because I knew there was something really big about this.
Mhm.
And by the time I was 11 years old, I took my allowance money to Borders and I bought myself my first little mini tarot deck. And the rest is history. I've been um, voraciously devouring all the books I can find for decades now. And I just love it. And I'm still learning. That's the best part about it,
Mhm.
especially um, astrology specifically. There's Western, there's Vedic, there's Chinese, Bazi astrology. There's all kinds of different astrology, and it's very interpretive. So I'm still learning about astrology as I go, but I've been studying it just as long as the tarot. And of course, tarot and astrology go together quite a bit.
Mhm.
So
Right.
but yeah, I've been doing this for a long time. It is what I love. It's my passion. And I just try to bring an affordable and authentic experience to as many people as I can with my business, with my gift. So,
And how
um,
do people find you?
how do people find me? They can
Mhm.
find me on Facebook at Arcane Oracle. That's my business page. You can find me online at elainesarcanetarot.com. And if you're in a rush, you can always send me a text or call me at 765-739-0278.
Awesome.
So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Perfect. And I know, like I say, it's true. Elaine does get back to you. Because I know, well, our first reading that I had for my wife, I was reaching out to you. I texted you, like I said, just shoot me a quick text, and she gets back to you. Her prices are affordable, and like I said, her readings are spot on. I think as we learn with the tarot, it's never. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Elaine. Most people think whatever you say when you're doing the reading, a lot of people think, oh, that's exactly what's going to happen. But that's not necessarily true. And there's a timeline too. It's not going to happen as soon as you're done with the reading and everything's going to fall into place. There's timelines for everything.
Mhm.
Is that true?
Yes. Yes. You see, at least the way that I see it, is that life is a constant balance between fate and free will, because free will is a spiritual law. At least I believe that. We have free will. We have, you know, the probability of circumstances at play. We have our own choice, and, you know, you can change your whole life with a small change. And that's all triggered by free will. So whenever I'm reading the cards, what's being read are the present energies at play, what the likely course of events based on the circumstances are, you know, like predicting anything else. It's based on the current circumstances.
Mhm.
Now, if you change what you're doing, if you change your pattern, the outcome could change
Mhm.
Mhm.
just as easily. So it's and same goes with astrology, you know, forecasting horoscopes. Nothing is set in stone. Nothing is, you know, this is absolutely set to happen.
Mhm.
Right.
But likelihood is real. You know,
Mhm.
the circumstances, if it's the gray, cloudy day, it's likely you're gonna get rain. You know,
Mhm.
it's the
Right.
same thing, but, you know, just like trying to predict whether or not we're gonna get snow,
True.
you
True.
know, there are
That
so
made
many
me think.
probabilities.
Yeah, that made me think when she said like the horoscopes. I was like, I remember when I was a kid, like reading like the 17 magazine or whatever it was. It was like, you will find your true love this month. And I was like, oh, I am. You know, I'm like 10 years old reading my sister's 17 magazine, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna find my true love. Okay.
Exactly, exactly. And those horoscopes, you know, a lot of people, they only know their sun sign, and
Yeah.
that's what we're
Mhm.
most familiar with here in the West, is our sun signs.
Yeah.
But really, the best way to read a horoscope, in my experience, whenever you're just flipping through the newspaper or a magazine, is to read for your rising sign, your moon sign, and your sun sign in that
Yeah.
order,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
the rising sign is the most personal, the moon sign is the second most personal, and then the sun sign is usually the third most personal, at least
Yeah.
for most people.
Gotcha. And it's nice to know that I learned this from Elaine too when it comes to astrology and
Mhm.
the tarot, to learn that both are so intertwined with the cards, with the
Mhm.
symbolicism in the cards and all reference astrology as well. And again, it depends on the person interpreting the cards and how much they learned or how much they read into it. Elaine happens to put a lot of that astrology into the card readings as well. And I found that amazing. And I say, wow, and I think too, Elaine, if you look at the cards, the more you look at them, the more you actually see, even a card you see all the time, every single day, depending on the reading, you're going to find something else in there that can be now interpreted a completely different way.
Mhm. Yes, that's absolutely correct. For example, okay, seasonal, the devil card here. We're pretty familiar with him, right? It's
Mhm.
probably the scariest card in the tarot next to the
Right.
death card, right?
Hmm.
All right, so the devil card can be just flat out representing negative influences. All right,
Mhm.
so, you know, somebody's being deceived, somebody's being led astray, tempted, seduced, somebody's under some kind of a bad influence, whether that's another person or toxic situation, toxic job. Even in some instances, it can mean negative spiritual presence, right? So
Mhm.
Hmm.
negative spiritual attachments might be in play. But this card, the devil card, is also, whenever you're looking at time frame, this is Capricorn season,
Mhm.
because the devil card is ruled by the sign Capricorn in the tarot. So this would be approximately December 22nd, I believe,
Hmm.
through about January 19th would be the time frame.
Mhm.
So that's where we are right now in tarot time frame, is we're in the season of the devil card.
Hmm.
Okay.
But at the
Mm.
same time, you've got the Three of Pentacles here. All right. Three of Pentacles in general means learning a trade. It means cultivating skills. So demonstrating what you're made of, right? But it's also time frame wise. It is the first week of January. It is December 31st through approximately January 9th. That's how specific the tarot can get.
Hmm.
Hmm.
See, I love it. I learn something new
I know.
all the time. And this is why I really appreciate you. And that's why I appreciate every time I see one of your Facebook posts, I said, I'm going to learn something when I see it because you take your time and you actually write about this. And even myself, I picked up a deck of tarot cards myself and I started to learn, at least the basics. So let me try and, understand it because I do find it fascinating. Um, and when I did my very first reading, all that went out the window, all the learning. Once I looked at the cards and based on the question and based on the person I was with, I was literally being spoken to, just saying, just read what you see. And that's how it came to me. I was like, just look at those cards and just whatever's come into your mind, just go ahead and say it. So again, that puts us in a position, the way I read, the way you read, the way someone else reads a card, it's all different, but we still get the same interpretations because it's not, I think we went over this on our live way back. It's not so much the reader, the person reading the card, but it's the cards themselves that actually hold all of the power. The person interpreting them is basically just doing that, just interpreting them.
Yes, yes. There's it's a language, the tarot. Okay, it's a language. It's 78 cards and they're reversals, and within each, the whole deck encompasses pretty much all of the human experience. Just the way that we can use any, language that we use in culture to do anything with. We can use it to create um, timeless art, like William Shakespeare or Wordsworth. And we can use it to create propaganda and deceit. And it's up to whoever's wielding the tool, just like an artist with a paintbrush. And the artist is definitely a big part of it, but so is the tool. And in this particular instance, the tarot has a rich spiritual history. I could almost say that like tarot has its own spirit. And each person that is called to use the tarot cards, the tarot is still a language, it's still like a translation device, but it has a spirit of its own that you're interacting with.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's what I remember saying. Like the cards do. Some people are just, you could read the pictures, you could read the meanings that you're getting from, whether it be from YouTube or from a book, or you can literally use spirit, whatever spirit means to you. You could use that. There's two different readers, ones that are more intuitive and more that are just interpreting what they're looking at. And I
Yeah.
prefer going to somebody with, more intuition because I just think you get that real feel. You now know that what you're being, told by those tarot probably more than likely are going to happen. And that's why I know you definitely have that ability. And I really like that. I wanted to also go over too, when it comes to the astrology and all, and this is a little bit off subject of the tarot, but this day and age right now, and I know I had sent you that link about that case that's happening very close to me with the tarot shop owner. Here in the state of Pennsylvania, tarot reading is technically illegal. Technically, you could do it, but it has to have the stupid stamp that for entertainment purposes only, to cheapen what people do. People spend a long time trying to interpret and understand the cards, and we got to cheapen it to for entertainment purposes only because it doesn't fall in the eyes of the law. But on an interesting twist with that, I get why the law was in place because there were some tarot readers, or basically not really tarot readers, but fortune tellers that would say, give me, X amount of money and I'll tell you exactly what to do with your future. And it doesn't work that way. But to me, that's buyer beware. Think for yourself before you give money to somebody as to where you're going to somebody with a tarot. But I get this feeling like for some reason, ancient times, right? Back when the pyramids were built and all, everything back then revolved around astrology. It was so important. It was important in their mathematics. It was important on how they lived, how to build these things. Every single stone aligns with a planet or a star or a constellation. What happened, Elaine? Why are we now saying for entertainment purposes only? Why is astrology all of a sudden demonized?
Oh, I mean, that's probably a much deeper question than I can give a truly insightful or meaningful answer to on the spot without,
Mhm.
actually doing a research level paper about it. But my guess would be it's like most things, a few bad actors spoil something good for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it seems to be, really, because I see a lot of icky behavior, in the modern world from people who pretend to be spiritual workers, fortune tellers. There's various different types of that icky behavior, but some of the biggest warning signs are direct contact cold sales. That
Mhm.
is where somebody gets a hold of you by your social media account or whatever, basically cold calls to tell a prospective client that they need a reading for usually some negative purpose, that there's I felt drawn to you because there was some bad energy around you.
Mm-hmm.
um that's a good example, and
Mhm.
those are all just sowing fear and negativity to pressure people into paying fraudsters to fix problems that only the fraudster knows they have.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So, and there's a lot of that, and honestly, I'm kind of torn about it. I'm ambivalent about it. I'm okay with there being some laws in place to prevent practitioners that are unethical and dishonest from taking advantage of vulnerable people.
Mm-hmm.
And even in my own experience in this, being somebody who works in that business, I've had after a significant family loss, a really wrenching family loss, I got a few supposed spiritual practitioners that were messaging my Facebook account to threaten me with even more bad fortune on my family if I didn't pay for their readings and their protection spells. Of course, I'm the last person to come to with that kind of nonsense, but
Right.
it's and I was hit then personally by just, wow, that's really brutal. And imagine being someone who feels truly lost in
Mm-hmm.
a dark chapter of their life, and they can so easily fall prey to dishonest practitioners. And because of things like that, I have a rule that client calls me, I don't reach out direct cold sales ever. I will never send someone a message telling them they need a reading. um, and I don't do the type of bait and switch offers, funnel, none of that. It is what it is. On my website, you'll find the menu of my prices. My prices are as quoted. It'll never be a purchase a one question reading and then now you've got to pay me $50 for a ritual. I don't pull anything like that. If
Mm-hmm.
you ask me for it, I'll quote you a price. And if you want it, you want it. And if you don't, fair enough.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I like that. We went to a show, like one of like a vendor type show. It was like a spiritual show, and when I was walking around the room, I like after we were done, we didn't stay very long at all. As we were leaving, I was like, you know what? I only maybe felt like a gift from someone just from being in tune myself. I was like, I maybe only felt like in tune with maybe one or two people in this whole vendor thing. And so it's like you said, it's like you feel bad for those people who are just at a desperate part of their life where they're not in tune, or they just have that guard down, so then they're more than likely to fall into like these scammers. So it's just disappointing to me that people are out there that do these things.
Yes, yes, it is. It's very disappointing to me as well. I know that there aren't really laws in my state that forbid
Mhm.
fortune telling, divination, tarot reading, any of that. Um, I think there are some laws and city ordinances where the communities at least have some ability to go after the people that are really egregious and audacious in their
Yeah.
scamming. But and I don't mind that. I've never been hassled. I do live vendor events every warm season. I don't do it in winter because I'm a weenie. But
Yeah.
you know, it's never been a problem. No one's
Mhm.
ever seemed to be offended by my
Yeah.
presence, or you know, I've not really ever gotten that kind of trouble. And I
Mhm.
imagine that's because I do business in a way that's, you know, you don't want my business, it's fine. If you're not happy with it, okay, here's your refund. Don't come back, you know?
Yeah.
Right. That's the best way to do it too. It's like you and I. You don't like our show? Don't listen to our
Yeah.
show. It's we're not forcing anybody to do it. The people that come to you, it could be from any walk of life, from any religion, and they're being smacked though with the tarot, which it's based a lot on spiritual beliefs. And I know sometimes you probably get a few people that they don't know where to stand. I had somebody I worked with who always wanted a psychic reading from somebody because I always talked about this one psychic I know. And he's like, I want to so bad. I said, I could set you up, we'll get you in there. But he was like, but my religion, being a Catholic, he's forbidden from anything like that. And I was like, well, look at it for entertainment purposes only then in that case. But yeah, it's really, I don't want to say frustrating, but there's like so many between spirituality, religion, astronomy even, they all come together really from a different kind of world, the way I like to put it. And for somebody to actually sit and listen to you and get that interpretation, it's sometimes difficult. It's difficult to give that interpretation, not knowing really where they stand religiously, or anything like that.
Yes, yes. And that's a very good observation there. It's very insightful. Well, I was raised agnostic,
Mhm.
strictly agnostic.
Hmm.
So, yes, you're absolutely right. My practice, my services are open to anyone of any belief system, any nationality, race, creed, doesn't matter to me. We're all fellow passengers to the grave on this planet. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
that's no never mind to me. But honestly, because I've never really had much of an experience in any of the Abrahamic religions myself, as far as Christianity, Catholicism, Protestantism, Islam, Judaism. I know the Bible roundabout, but I I don't really know too much about the specifics. I know that there's something about the Witch of Endor and Saul and communicating with spirits, and that was supposed to be forbidden in the Old Testament. I don't know any details about it. It's it's not my belief system.
Right.
Yeah, I know that I've had, I'm not gonna go into any details because confidentiality is, one of my ethical principles,
Mhm.
but, I've had many clients who have a Catholic background. They
Mhm.
don't seem to have any qualms or guilt about working with me, and they've certainly never come back and said that I got any evil spirits or demons on them through
Yeah.
my practice.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I always do try to be, very cosmopolitan, and I try not to offend anyone. That's not what I'm trying to do
Yeah.
as far as beliefs. Everyone has their own beliefs, and my grandfather always, he was a very wise man. He always used to say, every man to God or the devil in his own way.
Mhm.
Mhm. I
And
like that. I like that. That's good because yeah, that was my point. It doesn't matter really what walk of life, what religion you're doing. When we're talking about the tarot cards, we're just getting in contact with that kind of space. The universe. The universe has some big divine plan, and there's alternate universes, alternate realities, alternate outcomes. Where are we heading? And that's what the cards are basically telling you, or at least giving you an idea which direction to head in. And it doesn't have anything really to do with religion or anything. It's the universe, the greater of all.
Right, exactly. And in the tarot, you'll find all kinds of symbologies that, also mix with both Christianity and Judaism. It's all there. It was
Mhm.
created by the Order of the Golden Dawn, the Rider Waite deck. So there's a lot of influence of Hermeticism in this, and that it has to do with the Kabbalah and Christian theosophy. It's all in there. Of course,
Yeah.
we have the devil, we have the Hierophant, we have those traditionally Western religious symbols. But the tarot is effectively universal.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's definitely not a religion. It's not a closed practice by any means. You
Mhm.
can have any sort of background. And one thing I love about the tarot in the modern era is that there is a tarot deck for literally every reader. You can find everything from Arthurian legends to the Golden Girls to
Mhm.
um, different cultural, historical tarot. It's great. So
Mhm. Yeah, and I
it's
think I
very
see those
open.
Golden Girls
I
one.
did see the Golden Girls ones. I was like, that's cool.
All right.
Yes, yes, it's very inclusive. So,
Mhm.
and that's one of the things I love about it.
Yeah, and it is fun, and you do a great job. And speaking of doing a great job, did you have any questions for Elaine? Not
Mm.
off the list yet, but did you have any?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
You're good. All right, cool. Because what we're going to do in this whole episode, wanted to base it on the new year.
2024.
Yeah, we just are walking into this new year now, and I think the ending of 2023, at least for me, it put a lot of weight, a lot of question, a lot of I don't know. It's just I can't even put my finger on it. It's just things went in a way different direction I thought they would for the end of the year. Now we're coming into the new year, and we have to face all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And I think right now, whether it's political, whether it's just the financial situation of the world and how it's affecting each and every person, I thought it would be interesting to sit and have Elaine do a few readings based on just some collective questions on how we as humanity can get ahead a little bit in 2024. Give us all a little bit of guidance, give us something to kind of look forward to for the new year, a new way to handle it, a new way to walk into it. And that's what we're going to do. So we have a few questions, and Hannah's going to ask two, and then I'm going to ask two, and we're going to watch Elaine actually do the readings and interpret the cards, which I'm going to find so fascinating. But before we just do that, the way Elaine works now, Elaine, I've noticed you don't do the typical spreads like the card spreads, the 3 card spread, 7 card spread. You work by just reading one card at a time, and that's how you handle clients where they pay for basically a block of time, ask as many questions as you want, and it's all one card interpretations, correct?
That's right. That's right. Now, it's not that I don't use tarot spreads necessarily. I mean, I absolutely do use the spreads that I like the best, or basically whatever I'm called to use whenever the question is brought.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I just I pull cards until the spirits are done speaking to me, until they basically given the okay, finished
Yeah.
signal.
Hmm.
Um, so spreads, I love spreads. They're an integral part of tarot reading, absolutely, but they are not hard and fast rules. They'd be more like guidelines, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, um, and I don't like to sell tarot readings by the spreads, because you might need a clarifying card or two. Um, a question may be bigger than 3 cards. That's not uncommon. Might need a little bit more information than just what 3 cards can bring you. So my live reading sessions, whenever you get me on video chat or on the phone, you have 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, or 60 minutes. You just ask questions and I will answer in a timely manner. I won't chew up your clock naturally, but and we'll just go until you run out of time, or until you feel that you're done with the session.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I also offer delivery readings. That is where you can just email me or message me your questions, and then I will do readings for each individual question. So I can do one question up to up to 4 questions per order. And that's on my website as well in my pricing menu. And I'll take your questions, I'll perform a reading, I'll record it, and I'll send you the recordings by your email. And it's just charged per question. So like one question is $13, 2 questions is $25, 3 questions is $35, and so on and so forth. But it's not about spreads.
Okay.
Okay, great. And so with that, let's get the cards ready. Now, Elaine, you have anything like, do you prepare your cards too as well prior to readings or?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So before I sit down to a reading, I always make sure that my tarot deck is faced, all the cards are right side up. I make sure they're thoroughly cut, shuffled, recut, shuffled again. I will set the reversals per reading. So per client, I'll do the reversal move like I just did earlier here. I didn't wait.
You're okay.
That's all right.
And then, I'll shuffle again just to make sure that, I'm basically that's just my little fidget toy for how to tap into the energies of whoever or whatever I'm reading.
Mhm.
And, of course, you want to make sure that your tarot deck is nicely shuffled.
Yeah.
But I usually, I do some breathing exercises. I ground and center myself, and then I open it up so that I can communicate with my spirit team and ideally with the spirit team of whoever I'm reading for and with their personal energies.
Okay, great. Well, you're going to have, we're asking these questions for the entire world now. So that's going to be a very big team behind us here. So let us know once you're ready, and Hannah and I are going to pick some questions here.
Absolutely.
I guess you want to do 2 first and then I do 2.
That's up to you.
Yeah,
That's
that'll
fine.
be easy as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. Because they go one on one with each other, kind of. So
Yeah, that
yeah.
would work. Okay. Cool. I would have picked and choose, but I figured giving us a bigger
Yeah.
choice.
Now, there's no particular ritual to how you ask or how the client asks. Okay, so it's my job to know how to pose the question and how to listen to hear the right answer ideally. Now, of course, I'm just a human like everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, a bit more than that, I'm a fool of God. So I am very likely to make mistakes and errors just like everyone else, if not more so than everyone else. So I mean, I'm not a divine spirit myself. My words can be fallible. I can get things wrong. So
Yeah.
All
it's
understandable.
very hard not to. That's the
Right.
whole goal. So there is no hard and fast rules to how you or any client has to ask their questions. So ready whenever you guys are.
All right.
Okay. What opportunities may present themselves to humanity in this new year?
It's a very well worded question. Whew. Okay, so the 2 of Wands here. Interesting imagery. All right. If everyone can see that. All right, we've got a man here who is holding a globe, staring out over the vast expanses of his lands, of his territory that he's already on, but he's looking at what else can he claim? Where else can he go? So what does that make us think, right? Is humanity going to continue the race into space? Are we going to look at trying to conquer new worlds literally starting in 2024?
Mm.
But another thing that humanity is going to have an opportunity with, and this is not quite so inspirational and positive. This is the Five of Cups. And the Five of Cups is about accepting grief and moving forward, about knowing when to accept and cut losses. So that's a card that's often associated with crying over spilt milk. So as a human race, collectively, we might be turning our attention in society towards how we are collectively focusing on negativity, you know, because in this image you have this man here who's distraught and he's staring at his three filled cups. He's got two upright, perfectly good cups behind him, and you know, he doesn't see them. He's not aware of them at all. More than likely, he's going to turn around and knock them over, even worsening his situation.
Mm-hmm.
So we might be, as a species, looking at all the ways that we are wasting our time and resources on either negativity, on waste, or on tragedies, that we need to shift our mindset from complaining about things into trying to solve problems before they get worse. So that card is a bit less hopeful because it does have elements of grief to it, elements of regret, remorse, so, and loss. So we might be in 2024, we might be coming to terms with the ways that collectively as humanity we make bad situations worse.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be a bit of a moment of clarity there.
Okay.
We definitely need that opportunity here. So,
It does for sure.
okay. So, how can humanity best prepare for these opportunities?
Okay. So we get two pretty powerful cards here as an answer to that, because these are what we call in tarot language major arcana cards. These are the trump cards of the tarot deck, the ones that are numbered 0 through 21 and Roman numerals on the top here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here we have number 5, the Hierophant. And this is one of those cards I was talking about earlier that has a lot of religious connotations or traditional Western religion connotations. You know, we have what looks like a pope here. He's wearing the hat, got the cross and the hands up in blessing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he's giving absolution. He's got his penitents here who are praying for forgiveness. So this is a very Christian themed card, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what can we do to answer your question? What can humanity do to make the most out of these opportunities we're going to have? And the Hierophant is about following traditions. It's about accepting the way things are, even whenever we don't really like them all that much. So working with the system, not against it. That's part of the Hierophant. Another part of the Hierophant is mercy, forgiveness. It's being the bigger person, understanding that to err is to be human, but to forgive is divine.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely more of a traditional spiritual path or religious observance than it is the new age non-traditional spirituality. So we could be going into sort of like a religion of a collective human religion of mercy and compassion. That would be ideal, where we start we could take advantage of these opportunities if we start accepting that, hey, everyone is struggling, everyone is just doing the best we can, and make it kind of a religion to be more forgiving of one another, to be more compassionate. Another expression of this is, as much as, you know, most of us probably won't like it because we're very individualistic in our Western culture, is that we have to take advantage of the opportunities that this new year is going to be bringing us. Humanity needs to take the attitude that what's good for the hive is good for the bee.
Mhm.
Got to be more about not just what's good for you, not just what's good for me, but what if everyone behaved this way? Or what if everyone believed this? What kind of world would that look like? It's a more collectivist attitude that is needed in order to make the most of the opportunities that we will be given, for better or worse. And clarification on that is the moon card here. The moon card, it's probably one of my favorite cards in the whole deck, and it's because it is so mysterious. It is so ambivalent. And it's a card that's about intuition and self-discovery, about inner wisdom, and it's also about confusion, madness, delusion, uncertainty, fear, darkness, all of those things wrapped into one. So it could be that in order to take advantage of the opportunities the new year is going to bring us, we all need to reflect inward. We all need to be more circumspect. We all need to tap into our spiritual connection with each other, with other living beings, with our earth. We need to learn how to tell the difference between the fears that are constantly being pumped into our world, into media, and what is really our intuition as human beings, as members of the planet. What's the difference? And we need to learn that, because the moon card is really also about living in a world of fear and illusion, for whether it's real or whether it's all illusion. It's being affected by your environment. We need to become more aware as a collective, the human species, of just how realistic we're being and how really grounded in reality we are. And also, you know, how we're using our intuitive senses.
I love it.
I know, I got chills.
I got chills with that one. I really did. And that's why I love it. Your readings are intense because I'm just sitting here listening to them. I love it. All right. So I chose 2 questions myself. And so here will be the first one. How can humanity improve its relationship with the planet in the new year?
I knew you were going to use that one.
Of course you did. That's why you're my partner.
That's why I didn't pick it.
Oh gosh, okay. Tarot cards can be so, at least my tarot cards can just be so blunt sometimes. Okay, so what can we do to improve our relationship with this planet? The card nobody wants to see. The 5 of Pentacles. All right, look at these two here. Yeah, they are struggling. They are facing the elements. They are the have-nots, right? We need to accept less, basically. That's what that means. As to improve our relationship with the planet, we need to be more sensible. We need to be more practical. We need to be more frugal and ascetic. We need to do less. That's the first thing. We need to accept that, you know, life is what it is. It can't be perfect. Like, we can't just put on our headsets and live in a digital world. That's not going to go well at all. We need to accept that in order for everyone to be okay, you know, we can't have everything that we want. You can't always get what you want. And we also need to accept, you know, because if you look at this imagery, you know, this is a very pitiful couple here. You know, their shoes are worn. This poor man here has his fair share of struggles, and they're out in the winter cold. You know, they're facing the elements and the harshness of material life. And in the background here, behind their backs where they're not looking, is the warm light of a stained glass window of a church, right? It's supposed to be a center of charity and brotherly love. and they're not looking there. They're not trying to take advantage of the warmth of community. Perhaps the warmth of that community is not open to them. And that's, you know, another theme of this card is helping others, helping each other through struggles, seeing each other as just being fellow passengers to the grave, doing what we can when we can for each other and showing compassion, as well as accepting that, you know, nobody ever promised any of us a rose garden in this life. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, are we going to burn our planet up just being selfish, just, you know, being self-serving? And we've got to stop doing that as a species. And as a clarification card on that, woo, this is, you know, people talk about the death card or the devil card being scary in the tarot. The judgment card says, hold my beer. Because you noticed in that imagery, you know, again, with the biblical themes of the rapture, revelations, the end of times. That's what we're facing here. That's what's at stake. We can learn how to tough it out and be sensible, be reasonable, be sustainable, or it can be curtain altogether.
Wow. That was strong. That was intense.
Mm-hmm.
The bluntness of the cards, though, I think is what we really need.
Yep, they're like, I ain't messing around.
Yeah, I really, really liked it. That was strong. Let's see if we can't get one more in. And since they're being very blunt right now, let's
Sure.
see.
They're on a roll, they're on fire.
Let's see. What steps can humanity take to promote peace and unity in the new year?
Okay. So once again, they are being blunt here. 8 of Wands, movement, get moving. That's the first message. What can we do in order to improve you know, the status quo on this planet? And the 8 of Wands is all about action. It's about taking action. It's time to stop procrastinating, time to stop arguing about it and philosophizing about it. It's time to start taking action. It's time for all of us to pitch in and start doing whatever we can to contribute to a better world and a better society amongst us. So that's the first message there. Confirmation with that, with the Chariot card, you know, and what I'm intuitively getting off of these two cards together is that we have all this wonderful technology now. You know, society has advanced at a rate, a pace that we've never really seen before. What with the introduction of the industrial era and then the technical era, the technology that we have, the eight of wands, the ability to send a message around the planet within seconds. What are we doing? Yeah, that's the question here. I think is that we have such power, we have such information, we have such ability to do whatever we want, really, or within reason on this planet. We have so much going for us, and we're laying it to waste. We're not using it for true positive purposes. We're using it to spread misinformation and fear. We're using it for narcissistic purposes. We're using it for everything but good, it seems, or at least it seems that way. I know there's a lot of good uses for modern technology and the advantages that we have as a civilization collectively now. But we need to get our heads straight, and we need to start using what we have to fix problems. We need to really focus on Six of Swords here, moving forward. We've got problems. crying about them and fighting about them isn't going to solve anything. We need to get together as a human species, as one tribe, as it were, and get to work on solving these problems with all of the tools and the blessings that we have at this point in history. It can be done, but we've got to start applying it in positive, productive directions.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Elaine, I cannot thank you enough, honestly, for doing this. And to our audience that's listening to this or watching it, whatever it might be, if you need the tarot service, reach out to Elaine. Elaine, give us again your information where you can be contacted at.
Absolutely. You can find me on Facebook at Arcane Oracle. That is my business page. You can send me a message there if that works best for you. You can also find me at my website at elainesarcanetarot.com. That's tagged in the description here as well. You can email me from that page. You can send me a direct message from that page. My phone number is 765-739-0278. That's 765-739-0278. You can send me a text. If you're into texting, you can call me. I'm always here for you if you need a reading. You can check out my menu of prices and readings at my website. And that's again, elainesarcanetarot.com. Yeah, I would love to connect with you if you're listening and you're interested in getting a reading. Yeah, just hit me up. I'm here.
Wow.
That's fantastic. Elaine, thank
Thank
you again, really, for coming on the
Mhm.
show, joining Hannah and I, and for doing that reading for us. I always get chills when it comes to the tarot readings. I always get into it, and your intensity, and it's wonderful. And that's why I hope people do reach out for you if they need a
Mhm.
tarot reading for sure. All of Elaine's links will be in the synopsises of the show. And if, like she said, if you need to reach out, just reach out to her, and she does fantastic, just as fantastic as she did right here for the show. It wasn't just for the show.
Mhm.
She's like that all the time, consistently. I can speak for her on that. Do you have anything else for
I
Elaine?
can't even look at her right now.
I know.
I'm
I can't
like,
even make eye
shoot,
contact.
I can't even make eye contact. That was amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That was
Thank
my
you so much.
honestly first experience with Elaine. Because the last show we didn't do like a read, and I'm just like, wow, I'm gonna be broke because I'm gonna be like, Elaine, I need you. But hey, I will be happily broke.
That is such an honor to hear that coming from you, Hannah, and from both of you. Thank you so much, Gary, Hannah, for having me on the show again. I love these
Thank
chats
you.
that I have with you, and yeah, thank you so much. Really, I appreciate you both so much.
Excellent. Thank you again,
Thank you.
Elaine. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. And to everybody else, we hope you enjoyed the show just as much as we did. And don't forget to reach out to us at eyeopenersociety.onpodium.co. And Elaine's link is at the top of our page too. It's always been there. Just
Mhm.
go ahead and click on it. It'll take you right to her website. And don't forget that we will be having some other shows too that are coming down the pipe. We
Mhm.
want you guys to tune into them. So for everybody, thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you again real soon.